Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of BTTH the Flame Emperor episode number 119 based on novel. So let's start. Okay, I'm going to strip you of the source of holy flame. Yang suddenly said. Okay. Xiao Yang agreed, and then his eyes fixed on the rock in front of him. Around Yang's body, khaki yellow flames kept appearing, and then they walked away to Mu Feng and the others. Shabu shabu. After a while, Mu Feng and the others were wrapped in this khaki flame. You all step back. Yang Wei sat up cross-legged, and then said to Xiao Yi and Mu Yingying who were beside her. As for the other Shanling, who were wrapped in khaki flames, they were more like falling into a deep sleep. This is it. Xiao Yi seemed to have noticed the abnormality of Mu Feng and the others, and immediately said vigilantly, "Don't worry, they came to my desert mountains this time and helped us kill a lot of foreign evil races, so I won't treat them badly. This time, it's up to them to improve their strength." Yang finished, and instantly closing your eyes, a barren and heavy aura suddenly appeared. Are we going to start? Xiao Yang said slightly fiery, because the Fenju hidden in the deepest part of Xiao Yang's body was restless at this moment, as if he saw the most delicious food. Huaxin Tianyang is famous for controlling the hottest flames, coupled with the firmness of the rock. Holy flame is the most powerful flame spirit in this world. Among them, there is mystery. I can't tell you more. Everything has to be explored by yourself. After you get this holy flame, remember to help the thousands of beings in this great world from the disaster of the evil races outside the realm. Yang said, and then stopped talking. The power is suspended in front of the chest. Will this stripping away the source of holy flame affect Yang's strength? Although Xiao Yang was extremely anxious about holy flame, he couldn't help but ask. Peeling off the holy flame is definitely the same as you peeling off the strange fire. Although this kind of peeling will not directly shake the foundation, it will definitely decrease the strength of Yang. The strength of this rock should be that it has just been promoted to Dozian for a long time. Even if the holy flame is stripped away willingly, I am afraid that after the holy flame is stripped away, its strength should drop to the 8-star Do Emperor or the 9-star Do Emperor. Long Yi slowly opened his mouth. It started. Xiao Yang said calmly. At this time, Yang Ju was already enveloped by a layer of extremely strange silver light, and ordinary people couldn't see the situation inside. Huaxin Tianyang, you have followed me for so long, I am actually very sorry for you, because I know that your strength is far more than what you are now, but my strength and talent are limited, but now you have a better master, I hope you will shine with your own light in the future. He is also a member of the Xiao clan, Yang said to Sheng Yangjing in front of him in the silver light. As soon as the voice fell, the whole body of the rock suddenly turned yellow, and waves of extremely hot waves radiated from the body of the rock. Since you can't wait so much, come out. Seeing this, Yang was very satisfied with the state of Huaxin Tianyang. After all, when Huaxin Tianyang heard the people of the Xiao clan, he suddenly became restless. For nothing else, it was because Xiao Mu, the man of Xiao Yang, used his strength to fight immortals, and together with this fire heart Tianyang, he fought the legendary Gorefiend for 3 days and 3 nights abruptly. Although there was no result in the end, the two of them both got out of it. Just from this point, Huaxin Tianyang can still remember it fresh. Yang closed his eyes and worked hard to mobilize the vindictive energy in his entire body, slowly forcing out the holy flame that had been fused by himself. This process was extremely difficult, and it was as painful as the bone-piercing pain. Boom boom boom. In the silver light, many beads of sweat continued to appear on Yang's forehead. Obviously, stripping away the power of holy flame is like drawing blood. The process is extremely uncomfortable, even if Yang is so determined. Force cannot help but slightly gritted his teeth. Will peeling off the holy flame really lead to a decrease in strength? Yang felt the strength in his body that was slowly declining with the peeling of the holy flame, and couldn't help but mumble to himself. But it doesn't matter, it's fine. Without the holy flame, it's better to complete my king's order to me and bring Shanling and the others. Yang smiled slowly, and then there was a hint of determination in his pupils. Holy flame crystal, help me. Yang snorted coldly, and a circle of invisible fluctuations immediately dispelled the silver light around Yang's body. As if hearing the call, the holy flame crystal made a humming sound, and then without hesitation, it turned into a stream of light and flew into the rock. Just as Sheng Yangjing entered Yang's body, Yang suddenly felt that the fire heart Tianyang was truly complete. Because the power of the holy flame and the holy flame crystal are one body, if it wasn't for suppressing the blood demon general, Yang wouldn't have taken this holy flame crystal out. Now that the holy flame crystal has returned to its place, the power of the holy flame of Huaxin Tianyang is perfectly manifested. Boom boom boom. As Sheng Yangjing entered the body, Yang's body suddenly swelled up, and then rose directly from the ground, and in just a short moment, he came to the sky. Yang's pupils shrank tightly, and an extremely ferocious look emanated from the pupils. Obviously, he wanted to rely on the power of both the holy flame crystal and the rock to force out all the power of the holy flame in the rock body. Not a simple thing. Boom boom boom. At the next moment, Yang's pupils changed suddenly, and then a khaki-yellow holy flame emanated from his body in all direction. Wherever the power of the khaki holy flame goes, nothing grows, and the barren aura fills the top of the entire desert mountain range. I'm coming. The next moment, Mu Yingying also realized that things were not good, and immediately bit her lip, ready to leave. No. An arrogant voice came from Yenko, and Yang gritted his teeth stubbornly, bloodshot in his eyes, and said to Mu Yingying. The screams continued to sound from the mouth of the rock. With the screams, the khaki desert in the body of the rock suddenly disappeared, and then the holy flame crystal slowly passed from the chest of the rock. Drift out. Hoo hoo hoo. Yang gasped heavily, then looked at the saint flame crystal in front of him, and a smile appeared. Fortunately, nothing happened. He smiled slowly, then glanced at the top of the desert mountain range that had been destroyed in a mess because of his movement just now, and shook his head. Boy, take it. This is not only the holy flame crystal, but also contains all the source power of the holy flame of the fire heart Tianyang. A soft voice came out of the rock mouth, and then the rock directly pushed the holy flame crystal in front of him, and immediately faced the Xiao Yang roared away. With such a push, the aura of that rock suddenly dropped. In just a few breaths, it was down to the level of a 4-turn 9-star Do Emperor. Xiao Yang looked at Yang with a hint of gratitude in his eyes, and then took the holy flame crystal with his palm, and murmured in a low voice, finally, this step has been reached. Xiao Yang stared at the Saint Yangjing that exuded a barren aura in his hand, and a wry smile appeared. Since I came to this Do-Di continent for so long, I finally found the first holy flame. Xiao Yi, if you can't wait for me, then leave first. I have to swallow this fire heart heavenly rock. Xiao Yang also understood the value of the holy flame crystal in his hand, so he didn't want to delay his speech. This holy flame crystal is the root of holy flame. Only with the approval of holy flame crystal can it devour holy flame, otherwise everything is nonsense. Moreover, this holy flame, no matter where it is placed in the outside world, will attract countless strong people to go crazy for it. Okay. Xiao Yi and Mu Yingying looked at each other and immediately understood what Xiao Yang meant, and then spoke slowly. Boy, this Huaxin Tianyang is extremely stubborn by nature. Even if it is approved by Sheng Yangjing, it is not easy to control. You will swallow it before you can control your heart, otherwise. Yang instructed Xiao Yang. Yes. Xiao Yang agreed softly, and immediately took out several medicinal herbs that had been prepared for a long time, except for Na Shusheng Dan, the 3 things that must be used to devour the holy flames, the other 2 have already been prepared. Just after taking out all the materials for Shusheng Dan, Xiao Yang glanced at Sheng Yangjing, which had dimmed but contained world-destroying power in the palm of his hand. What are you doing? Yang asked inexplicably. Refining medicinal pills and swallowing holy flames is no joke, you must be fully prepared. Xiao Yang said solemnly. Although the holy flame is already in his hands, he must not be careless. You brat, this holy flame used to be a member of your Xiao clan, so now you don't have to use so many things, just swallow them directly. Yang smiled slowly. This. Xiao Yang suddenly stared at the Saint Flame crystal in his hand in amazement. Let's begin. I have already forced all the source power of the holy flame into the holy flame crystal. You just need this. Yang said slowly to Xiao Yang. Okay. Xiao Yang was overjoyed when he heard the words. According to what this Yang said, it should be feasible. As for you guys, follow me to another place to practice for a while. Yang finished speaking, and directly took Xiao Yi Mu Yingying and those who were in a state of cultivation and disappeared to the top of the desert mountain range, obviously going somewhere else the place. Since that's the case, let's start. Seeing this, Xiao Yang nodded slightly, and there was a fiery heat in his pupils. Spirit of fire heart heavenly rock, come out. Xiao Yang said lightly as the top of the desert mountain range calmed down. Xiao Yang's voice echoed in the top of this desert mountain range for a long time, but what responded to Xiao Yang was only his own echo. His grandma's. Xiao Yang couldn't help frowning and cursed. Then Xiao Yang raised the holy flame crystal in his hand, and suddenly wrapped it away with the power of strange fire. Wow! The next moment, a terrifying voice suddenly burst out from the holy flame crystal in Xiao Yang's hand. The originally bleak and colorless Saint Flame crystal suddenly burst out with a dazzling khaki flame and dispersed, and after a while, it directly wrapped the top layer of the entire desert mountain range. What was reflected in Xiao Yang's pupils was the huge body of thousands of feet condensed by the power of the khaki holy flame, which made people look very shocking at first glance. Above the khaki yellow flames, layers of rock-solid rocks envelop it. With such a terrifying defensive power, even Xiao Yi can't help but feel exhausted. Is this the body of Huaxin Tianyang? Xiao Yang stared at the behemoth in front of him. Fen Zhu in the depths of his heart trembled violently, and Xiao Yang's body couldn't help but get excited. I didn't expect it to be you. The top layer of the entire desert mountain range was wrapped in circles of khaki yellow holy flame power, and the barren and heavy aura permeated the entire mountain range, but it was located in the flames of thousands of meters, and a line about touching the baby. A large and small figure suddenly appeared in the sky, and then Huaxin Tianyang slowly opened his mouth on the conditions, and the voice was extremely vicissitudes. Then, it is the origin of Huaxin Tianyang. The top layer of the entire desert mountain range was enveloped by the power of the khaki yellow holy flame. Xiao Yang suddenly felt the pressure greatly increased, the barren aura above the holy flame permeated, and Xiao Yang was shocked. Kid, Yang has already told me about you. With the approval of Sheng Yangjing, this emperor can follow you, but you are too weak if you want to rely on me. Huaxin Tianyang said with some doubtful voice. This fire heart Tianyang is stubborn. Never mind. With a cold snort, Long Yi, who was in the ancient ruler of eternal fire behind Xiao Yang, instantly appeared with a huge body, and then walked away to the fire heart Tianyang in the sky. Human. The baby-sized Huaxin Tianyang immediately noticed Long Yi's movements, and immediately turned his eyes in surprise. It was a baby whose whole body was condensed by the power of the khaki holy flame. The whole body exuded a desolate aura, but only those khaki eyes were particularly eye-catching. Xiao Yang. Long Yi shouted at Xiao Yang when he saw that his attack was blocked. Leave it to me. When Xiao Yang heard the words, he gritted his teeth, and a drop of blood essence in his body emerged from between his brows. Hope Yang don't lie to me, he said in a low voice. Then Xiao Yang's whole body burned to the limit. The blood essence in his hand contained terrifying power, and he went towards the source power of Fire Heart Tianyang above the sky. This is a very familiar fluctuation. Huaxin Tianyang stopped Long Yi at will, and then calmly looked at Xiao Yang who was whistling towards him. For some reason, Huaxin Tianyang actually felt a long-lost reunion from the bright red blood in Xiao Yang's hand. Go. Xiao Yang gritted his teeth, and directly raised the blood in his hands to the top of his head with both hands, and smashed it towards the source of Fire Heart Tianyang not far away. This is. In an instant, the blood essence was ingeniously received in front of him by Huaxin Tianyang immediately. The doubts in Huaxin Tianyang's heart were immediately melted away by the blood essence. People from the Xiao clan. Huaxin Tianyang's surprised voice suddenly echoed in the sky, like a thunderstorm. Elder Long, come back. After Xiao Yang finished all this, he spoke directly, and then, ignoring the source of Huaxin Tianyang who was still in surprise, he stopped directly not far from the source of Huaxin Tianyang. To mobilize the blood of the Xiao family in the body, for Xiao Yang, the load is extremely large. I hope you won't let me down. Xiao Yang knew that if this holy flame refused to accept himself, the swallowing process would be extremely dangerous. In addition to what Yang just said, this Huaxin Tianyang has some origins with their Xiao clan, so the blood essence should be able to convince Sheng Yang greatly. Xiao Yang made a rash move, but fortunately he succeeded. Well, since that's the case, then this emperor is believing in you once. Xiao Mu, since this person belongs to your Xiao clan, I believe that the day I will see you again. The day when I see you again, this emperor will definitely ask, why did you abandon this emperor on that day? A roaring voice suddenly emerged from the mouth of Huaxin Tianyang, and then the Huaxin Tianyangban Yuan laughed loudly and devoured the blood essence directly. Immediately above the Fire Heart Tianyang fire infant, something like the clan lines on Xiao Yang's forehead loomed out. After a while, the source of Fire Heart Tianyang didn't hesitate, turned into a stream of light, and flew towards Xiao Yang's body. Looking at the roaring power of the Fire Heart Tianyang's source holy flame and the holy flame crystal wrapped in it, a rare smile appeared on the corner of Xiao Yang's mouth. Xiao Yang has longed for this day for too long, and today finally got his wish. How could Xiao Yang not be excited? It's too early to be happy. The next step is the most critical step, if you can't stop it. Long Yi suddenly woke Xiao Yang. Xiao Yang said in a deep voice. Although he didn't know the danger of swallowing the holy flame, since this holy flame is more powerful than the abnormal fire, it will naturally be more dangerous to swallow than the abnormal fire. That huge different fire square wraps itself. No matter what, the existence of this square of different fires can somewhat reduce the impact caused by swallowing holy flames. The source of Huaxin Tianyang came to Xiao Yang in an instant, and then the Xiao clan pattern on the forehead was looming and extremely obscure. Kid, this emperor's name is Xinyan, and he is the 35th holy flame on the holy flame list. Although you are still weak now, this emperor believes that there will be no cowards in the Xiao family, and I saw the shadow of that old guy in you. This emperor, Huaxin Tianyang, is willing to follow. A coercive voice emanated from the Huaxin Tianyang Huaying. The coercive voice made this space of heaven and earth tremble slightly. Hu. Hearing this, Xiao Yang nodded secretly, and worked hard to adjust his breath. When his breath returned to its peak, he did not hesitate. On the palm of his hand, the power of 23 different fires instantly wrapped, and then directly grabbed the source of the fire heart heavenly rock in front of you. Because Xiao Yang knew for a long time that the source of holy flame must be swallowed into the body first, to withstand the devastating impact before it can be regarded as a real swallowing. Boom boom boom. Just when he touched the power of the khaki holy flame around Huaxin Tianyang, a strong force came from his body, and Xiao Yang felt dizzy as the terrifying temperature stabbed him. As expected of the holy flame. Although he didn't know the secret between the holy flame and the different fire, there were as many as 23 different types of flames in Xiao Yang's palm, and there was no counterattack in front of the holy flame. The place is enough to see the horror of this holy flame. Come out for me. Xiao Yang directly ignored the tingling pains from his palms, his blue veins burst out, his breath suddenly lifted, and he shouted. With Xiao Yang's personality that is not afraid of death, the khaki yellow holy flame power from this Huaxin Tianyan's body is just like clear water, and it follows Xiao Yang's palm and leaves it on top of his body. Just as a trace of earthy yellow holy flame power entered Xiao Yang's body, a terrifying coercion suddenly radiated from Xiao Yang's body. As for the khaki yellow holy flame power, it flowed directly around Xiao Yang's body. Damn! This holy flame is actually so terrifying. Xiao Yang's pupils were full of bloodshots, and these bloodshots were clearly caused by the terrifying power that the holy flame had just entered into the body. Boy, hold on to this emperor. Huaxin Tianyang glanced at the source power that was constantly being deposited into Xiao Yang's body, and immediately said, "It's all right, continue." Xiao Yang gritted his teeth and said, and then quickly absorbed it. Because Xiao Yang knew that just a little bit of holy flame power had already loosened up the Fenju who had been stagnant ever since he came to Dodi continent. Ah. The screams were endless, but under this situation, Xiao Yang's limbs gradually became stronger. After a brief scream, on Xiao Yang's forehead, the pattern of the Xiao clan suddenly appeared, and a trace of gentle power continued to nourish Xiao Yang. After a while, Xiao Yang got used to the power of this holy flame a lot, and then the huge soul power in his body was suddenly dispatched, trying to devour the whole source of holy flame. Hey, what a brave boy. First swallow a few traces of the power of holy flame, let your body adapt, and then devour the entire holy flame in one go. Not bad, not bad. Xin Yang smiled slightly, obviously quite satisfied with what Xiao Yang did. Xinyan's voice just fell, and without waiting for Xiao Yang's soul power to mobilize, he directly entered Xiao Yang's body. Damn it! The remaining nearly 80% of the power of the source of holy flame had just entered Xiao Yang's body, and Xiao Yang's body had turned khaki-colored, and he suddenly felt that his body was like a huge furnace that could erupt at any time. The Do Qi in Xiao Yang's body has long been a fusion of 23 kinds of different fires, so the khaki-colored holy flame power and the Do Qi strange firepower in Xiao Yang's body have just met. They are trying to compete, and suddenly they are in Xiao Yang's body. Stand up. Bastard. I'm going to explode if I go on like this. Xiao Yang was sweating profusely, and then said coldly. Whether it was the holy flame or the 23 kinds of different fires, the power of any one of them was enough to instantly kill Xiao Yang. Xiao Yang is clear that this time swallowing the holy flame, because the fire heart Tianyang already has the clan pattern of his own Xiao family, so the danger of swallowing is also reduced a lot. But even so, Xiao Yang still had lingering fears, and was very afraid of the conflict between the power of the holy flame and the great saint of different fire. Unexpectedly, it still happened. Crash. The next moment, with the power of the holy flame, the power of the different fire slowly forced back, and then Xiao Yang's body trembled violently in the huge sea of fighting qi. Damn, the power of this holy flame is so terrifying. The power of the Emperor's realm-level small perfection soul is terrified. Xiao Yang couldn't help but be surprised, and then his mind turned around, and he tried to mobilize the huge soul power and fighting qi directly. Force the power of this holy flame into the Neijing in the body. Boy, Neijing can't contain my holy flame power, swallow that holy flame crystal. Only the holy flame crystal can contain the power of the holy flame. Just when Xiao Yang was panicking, a familiar voice sounded. The source of this sound was the fire heart heavenly rock that was flowing everywhere deep within Xiao Yang's body. Come on. Xiao Yang strongly endured the threat of exploding his body, and directly swallowed the fiery red prismatic saint flame crystal in front of him. Boom boom boom. Inside Xiao Yang's body, the soul realm trembled suddenly, as if it would be shattered at any time by the power of this holy flame. Once the soul realm was broken, Xiao Yang would probably hurt the source. Furthermore, at the Nigong pill in Xiao Yang's body, the core inscription of the divine movement natal life suddenly released a burst of extremely pleasant breath, but Xiao Yang was busy suppressing the power of holy flame in his body and did not pay attention. Shit. As the holy flame crystal entered the body, Xiao Yang suddenly felt that the power of the holy flame that was flowing around was slowly absorbed by the holy flame crystal, and the feeling of exploding body also faded. Where should this holy flame crystal be stored? As time passed by, Xiao Yang also muttered to himself, the Sea of Do Qi. The next moment, Xiao Yang directly controlled the power of his soul, and squeezed the holy flame crystal that already contained the power of holy flame in his body against the Sea of Do Qi. With the power of the source of the holy flame absorbed by the holy flame crystal, Xiao Yang's control of the holy flame crystal is also handy. Boom boom boom. In the Sea of Fighting Qi, a flaming beast grape, 100 meters long, was on the empty ground. With the appearance of this holy flame crystal, the prism-shaped pupils of the sleeping flame beast suddenly opened, as if looking at the enemy, staring closely at the holy flame that contained all the holy flames of Huaxin Tianyang Krista. This guy. Xiao Yang couldn't help but say something. Because Xiao Yang didn't know why this flaming beast appeared in his Doqi Sea, but Xiao Yang was certain that the origin of this flaming beast must be related to the power of 23 kinds of different fires in his body. Ho 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 ho. The flaming beast suddenly screamed, as if to swear an oath of sovereignty. The flaming beast seems to say again, this Sea of Fighting Qi is my territory, you can go back wherever you come from. The khaki yellow saint flame crystal, exuding a desolate aura, exuded a trace of extremely weak power in disdain when he heard the words, and blasted away at the flaming beast. This blow may seem simple, but the power of holy flame contained in it, I am afraid that ordinary 6-star fighting emperors are extremely resistant. Fut. When the flame beast saw this, there was a hint of doubt in the prismatic pupil, and then just when the power of the khaki holy flame was just about to attack itself, the beast opened its mouth and directly smashed the soil into it. The power of the yellow holy flame was swallowed down. After swallowing this trace of holy flame, 23 kinds of different fire powers suddenly appeared on the beast of flames, very gorgeous. The next step is the most critical step. Xiao Yang smiled slowly, and then directly released the holy flame power in the holy flame crystal. This fierce flame beast is Xiao Yang's Sea of Fighting Qi. Although he didn't know the specific reason for the disappearance of his Doqi Sea, Xiao Yang was sure that the Doqi in the Doqi Sea seemed to be swallowed up by this fiery beast. Do-DS cultivation is basically to compress the Doqi Sea, so if you want to improve your strength, it is tantamount to compressing the size of this flaming beast. Only when it is compressed to a certain extent can you advance. Boom boom boom. The huge khaki yellow holy flame power was just released, and a rather happy look suddenly appeared on the small face of the flaming beast. Then, without waiting for Xiao Yang to make a sound, he opened his mouth and swallowed the power of holy flame. He swallowed and vomited. The power of the holy flame was slowly refining, and even Xiao Yang felt that his strength, which had stopped at the early stage of the 5-star Do Emperor, had made some progress. Moreover, Xiao Yang can feel that this incomparably powerful holy flame is as weak as a child who does not live up to expectations in front of the beast of flame. I never imagined that the incomparably powerful holy flame in the past would be swallowed up by me so easily today. Xiao Yang laughed at himself, and then he didn't say anything, just sat cross-legged. Because the time required to refine the holy flame's power is definitely not short, Xiao Yang is not in a hurry. In another part of the desert mountain range, there are dozens of wooden stakes, and above them are some futons used for meditation. On the futon, Xiao Yi, Mu Yingying, Lu Di, and Mu Feng appeared here. The Emperor's aura here is quite strong, and the aura of the 5 people has become much stronger. With this breath, it seems that Big Brother should have succeeded. Xiao Yi felt the power of the strange fire in her body that was connected to Xiao Yang was slowly increasing, so she spoke first and then suddenly opened her eyes. Did he succeed? Mu Yingying felt Xiao Yi's change, and immediately a white mist appeared above her slightly beautiful eyes. The next moment, The nearby mountains suddenly trembled. Boom, boom, boom. What's wrong? Mu Feng was immediately puzzled when he heard the words. Let's go. Since the holy flame has been subdued, the next refining process will definitely take a long time, and the extraterrestrial evil clan has also been eliminated, and this mountain range is about to collapse. Xiao Yi looked at the shaking desert. Mountain road. I hope he's all right. Mu Yingying glanced at the top of the desert mountain range and muttered. Don't worry, eldest brother can conquer even the holy flames, not to mention that the mere desert mountains can't beat him. Xiao Yi said, and without hesitation, her figure exploded directly and flew towards a certain exit. When the few people on the side saw this, they immediately nodded and followed, leaving only Mu Yingying at the end. Why do I always feel that there is something at the top of this desert mountain range? That thing is countless times stronger than the Gorefiend left guard. Is it an illusion? Mu Yingying opened her mouth slightly, and after a brief hesitation, she had no choice but to follow. Looks like this kid has succeeded. Another place in the desert mountain range. Yang took Xiaoyi and the others to a good place for cultivation, then came back to get some things left by immortal master Madwood, and then took Shanyao and Shanling to prepare to leave here. Follow us too. Yang said to the snake. Okay. Snake Xing still admired this rock very much, with a hint of excitement flashing in his eyes, and agreed. Brother Xiao Yang, the next time we meet, I will become very strong. Shanyao glanced at the top of the desert mountain range, where, at this moment, there are flames everywhere. Let's go, this place is about to collapse. Don't worry, this little guy will definitely shine. Yang smiled slowly. Haha, in the human world? You imprisoned all the people of the Xiao clan, but you never imagined that their Xiao clan were not native residents of Dodi continent. I'm really looking forward to this little guy on Dodi continent. Because Yang believes that the people of the Xiao family will definitely make this world lively. As soon as the voice fell, beside Yang, the yellow Do Chi directly wrapped several people, then turned into a meteor and disappeared into the desert mountain rain. In the depths of the lonely desert of death, bursts of huge dust erupted instantly, and it also contained some flame power faintly. What happened? Humans are attacking again. The Medusa tribe, My Lan ran all the way, came to the Snake King and said, No. Why does this feel a bit like the rumored desert mountain range? The Snake King spoke slowly, but fell into contemplation. Many people know about the treasures contained in the desert mountains, but no one dares to enter it. I am afraid that the secrets are very well known. Desert mountains. When My Lan heard the words, her eyes lit up. Go on, send someone to check the vicinity of this desert mountain range. Once there are survivors, stay alive. In addition, after sending people to keep an eye on the Temple of Medusa, I always feel that there will be a big movement inside recently. After the Snake King finished speaking, looking at the collapsed desert, his eyes became hollow. Yes. My Lan heard the words and went straight down. The Xianling royal family. Why hasn't Xianling King returned? Isn't something wrong? After they went to the desert of death, only Qin Tian and the others came back. Could it be that Qin Tian wants to? Intermittent voices came. If you have something to report, you can go back to the DPRK. Qin Tian was above the first place and said calmly, Hey, let's go. A group of civil and military officials looked at each other, and immediately retreated helplessly. With the retreat of the civil and military officials, the medicine corps slowly appeared beside Qin Tian. Captain, do you want to go to the desert of death again? No, that guy from King Xianling didn't die so easily. Just wait. Qin Tian said lightly, and then walked out of the lobby. These little guys, I hope nothing happens. On the edge of the desert, an old man spoke slowly. Immediately, the old man took out a few wooden tokens. On the wooden tokens, the soul powers of Xiao Yang's 5 people were all shining abnormally. Although the desert mountains are dangerous and love you a lot, and there may even be the existence of aliens, but the things inside are the real treasures for you. It's only 7 years away from the Zhongmen Grand Competition. I wonder if this time the Zhongmen Grand Competition, can your kid let us shake the Fenxiang Pavilion for 3 days? Elder Zhu spoke slowly. Do you think Xiao Yang is still alive? What? Xiao Yang? Is that Xiao Yang from the Hall of People? I heard that he went out to practice in the desert of death and died. What? No way, I heard that he was the first place in the previous point selection competition. It's a pity to die like this. In a dark path, the 2 girls who looked quite innocent smiled and drank. A coughing sound with a little bit of vigilance rang out. The hot flames could not help revealing many beads of sweat on the foreheads of the 2 girls. Senior brother Xiao Yi, we didn't mean it. It's just that others say that. The two women said slowly. The man in front of him was quite handsome, with a very round face. He was obviously a man, but he had a face that girls would envy. Moreover, the two daughters knew that although this Xiao Yi usually lives in a secluded place, her strength is extremely terrifying, and she is rumored to have a fatal friendship with Xiao Yang. Who said that? Xiao Yi said coldly. Killing intent has slowly radiated from her body, and the two girls were breathless with hot breaths. Yes, it was said by senior brother Yi Qing from the Earth Palace. The second daughter said in a panic. Tell him, next time, I'll let him experience what looks like. Before the words fell, Xiao Yi's figure disappeared in place. Senior brother Xiao Yi's strength, I'm afraid that the strength of senior brother Earth Hall can't match. Don't say it, the identity of this senior brother Xiao Yi is extremely mysterious, so it's not worth discussing. The two women shook their heads and looked quite vigilant, because this Xiao Yi, even if the elders of the three temples of heaven, earth and humanity saw it, they would have been polite and move on. How? No news about Xiao Yang yet? Just after Xiao Yi returned to Wu's Huju, a suspicious voice sounded from behind. Not yet, but I can feel his exact breath. This breath is much stronger than yours. Xiao Yi smiled directly at the figure behind her without even looking at it. Behind him was Mu Feng. It's been almost 5 years since we left the desert mountain range. Does it take Xiao Yang so long to devour a holy flame? Mu Feng shook his head. Whenever he said about holy flame, he also looked around, obviously extremely vigilant. But since they came out of the desert mountains, whether it is Mu Feng, LVDI or Mu Yingying, their strengths have all made great progress. Devouring holy flames is child's play. In 5 years, I believe he will come out soon. A silver bell-like voice sounded slowly, and Mu Yingying came slowly. Hey, your aura. Mu Feng was the first to notice something was wrong. Why did Mu Yingying's aura suddenly become so powerful? When she came out of the desert mountain range, this Mu Yingying seemed to be only in the late stage of the 5-star Do Emperor. Have just broken through to the 5-star Do Emperor consummation. A faint voice sounded without any ostentation, but it sounded like thunder in Mu Feng's ears. What? 5-star Do D is complete. Did you make a mistake? Mu Feng had a feeling of wanting to cry without tears. After entering the desert mountain range, from the initial stage of the 5-star Do Emperor to the late stage of the 5-star Do Emperor, he has forcibly improved his strength. Originally, such progress can already be described as the speed of a soldier. How could he know that Mu Yingying was terrifying? However, the few people in the desert mountain range have only been practicing for a year. The richness of the Emperor's energy inside, plus some adventures obtained from the desert mountain range, have greatly improved their strength. Since they came out of the desert mountains, several people have also returned to the burning incense pavilion to practice day after day. In the blink of an eye, more than 3 years have passed. The people from the Hall of Earth are here to make trouble again. Green Flute came out and said, "Don't care about them. It's better to get Xiao Yang back first." At that time, the team competition of the 3 temples of heaven, earth and humanity will be directly held, and the single competition will be given up. Mu Yingying said slowly. How many of you are there? Xiao Yi asked. I agree. The other 3 said without any hesitation. When the big brother comes back, let's compete for the burning incense pavilion, Xiao Yi said. How's it going? A man with a steady breath said in a room in the hall. Third senior brother, several people from this Hall of Humanity have returned from the desert mountain range. Even if the Hall of Humanity tried their best to cover it up, their strength has greatly increased, and no matter how provocative I am, they will ignore us. Yi Qing the man asked suspiciously. In the Hall of People, almost all of the outstanding disciples have gone out. Now, the 5 people, mainly Xiao Yang, are the most threatening, and the others are nothing to worry about. But why hasn't that Xiao Yang come back? Could it be that he really died in the desert of death? That kid is the first place in the points plundering competition, not to mention it is rumored that this person killed the twin ghost emperors. It shouldn't have fallen so easily. The man spoke slowly. Okay, let's continue provocation. I don't know if they will come in the single match. If they don't come, in the team match that follows, unless they all win, they won't be able to qualify. Our 3 pavilions in the Burning Incense Pavilion are no joke. The man known as the 3rd senior said slowly. Yi Qing nodded immediately after hearing the words, because he knew that if he wanted Yang to win the team competition, it would be more difficult than reaching the sky. Time passed quickly. Almost 5 years had passed since Xiao Yang had absorbed the holy flame in seclusion at the top of the desert mountain range. For 5 years, Xiao Yang slowly sat cross-legged in the void surrounded by the power of Holy Flame, and then continued to refine the power of Holy Flame in his own battle chi si. Even if the entire desert mountain collapsed, Xiao Yang there was no feeling at all. After all, Xiao Yang's whole body is protected by the power of Holy Flame, so Xiao Yang is not too clear about the external situation. Xiao Yang is like a statue, standing slowly without any movement. Finally, at a certain moment, Xiao Yang's eyebrows twitched slightly, and then a barren and powerful aura suddenly burst out from Xiao Yang's body. Boom boom boom! A barren yellow flame appeared, causing the space in Xiao Yang's body to shatter. This feeling, it's really comfortable. Xiao Yang's pupils suddenly opened, and then he smiled when he sensed the power of the khaki holy flame that filled his body. Has the desert mountain range collapsed? Satisfied, he withdrew his power, and then looked at a void around him, where there was even a little bit of a desert mountain range. It was clearly a void. I didn't expect your perseverance to be so terrifying. A gentle voice sounded slowly. What caught Xiao Yang's eyes was the origin of Fire Heart Qianyang. At this time, the Fire Heart Heavenly Rock was yellowish-brown in its entirety, and the khaki yellow holy flame was slowly burning, which was extremely terrifying. Huaxin Tianyang has been completely refined by Xiao Yang, and they are closely related to Xiao Yang, so Xiao Yang is not surprised. It's just a fluke. Xiao Yang opened his mouth slightly, but the pain in refining the Fire Heart Qianyang was even more painful than swallowing the strange fire. Next, it's time to blossom and bear fruit. Xiao Yang said slowly, and then the power of strange fire and holy flames all over his body immediately emerge. This video will end here.